Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror in the morning and noticed that more dark spots have appeared on your face? Have you ever felt uncomfortable showing your hands because of those brown marks on the back? Has something similar happened to you? Do you feel overwhelmed by frustration? I completely understand you. My name is Carl Yang. I'm a dermatologist, and I've been practicing this profession for over 50 years. Throughout my career, I have treated tens of thousands of patients. Today, I want to make you an important promise. Don't give up. You'll only need 3 minutes to get rid of what many call the fungus from beyond, also known as seborrheic keratosis. I completely understand how you feel when you look in the mirror and see those dark spots that make you sigh. You fought hard. I know how much you tried to remove them. From pharmacy lightening creams to expensive products, even homemade remedies like lemon juice. But they didn't work, did they? You only ended up spending money and feeling even more frustrated. But that ends today. You just need to pay attention for 3 minutes. One of my patients, Mrs. Carly Yen, managed to reduce her keratosis, which she had for over 20 years, by half in just 3 weeks using this method. And the best part, she achieved it without going to the hospital, simply from the comfort of her own home. She used to feel uncomfortable going out and preferred staying indoors, but now she enjoys walks with her friends and feels much more fulfilled. Seborrheic keratosis is a condition that develops due to an excess of melanin in the skin. In the medical field, it's referred to as seborrhea. If left untreated, the spots can grow larger and darker, making even laser treatments less effective over time. This condition is particularly common in people who have worked outdoors for long periods or who have been constantly exposed to the sun. When we were younger, we didn't usually worry about protecting our skin from the sun, right? Now, that exposure is showing up in these marks. They generally start appearing after the age of 40. At first, they are tiny, but over time they grow and darken. Sometimes they show up as small clusters of light spots, like scattered powder. Other times, they appear as large coin-sized patches. The spots usually appear on the face, hands, arms, neck, and chest, the areas most exposed to the sun. One of my patients, Mrs. Penny Smith, had so many spots on her face that she became depressed. She even felt embarrassed to take photos at her granddaughter's wedding. However, with the treatment I recommended, she began to notice improvements within just 3 days. A month later, she felt comfortable taking photos again. Today, she proudly keeps that photo in her wallet and shows it to everyone. You too could look 10 years younger. Moreover, an excessive appearance of spots could be a sign that your liver function isn't in the best condition, raising concerns about your overall health. Based on my observations, people with liver or digestive issues tend to develop more keratosis. Therefore, treating these spots is not just a cosmetic concern. It's also a matter of health and wellness. At dermatology clinics, removing a single spot can cost between $50 and $100. If you have 10 spots on your face, the total would range from $500 to $1,000. And one session is usually not enough. 3 to 5 treatments are typically required. Thus, the total cost would be between $1,500 and $5,000. With our pensions, that represents a huge financial burden. If you watch this video until the end, you can avoid spending all that money. Stop wasting your money at clinics. Today, I'm going to show you the most effective method to eliminate keratosis, which I discovered after 50 years of experience. This method is so easy that anyone can do it. It doesn't require much money, and you can use ingredients you probably already have at home. The first trick is a honey and lemon mask. My patient, Mrs. Kim Ok-soon, managed to reduce her keratosis by half in just 3 weeks using this treatment. Even I, as a dermatologist, was surprised. She used to cover her face with a large hat because of the spots, but now she feels confident going outside. Why are lemon and honey so effective? Lemon contains vitamin C and citric acid, which help remove accumulated melanin from the spots. Meanwhile, honey acts as a natural moisturizer, preventing the skin from drying out. It also has antibacterial properties, helping keep the skin healthy. Preparing a lemon and honey mask is very simple. Squeeze half a lemon to get its juice. Mix it with 1 tablespoon of honey. Add a little flour until you get a paste. Apply this mixture to the dark spots, seborrheic keratosis, and leave it on for 15 minutes. Then rinse off with warm water. That's it. You don't need to do this every day. 2 or 3 times a week will be enough. Here's a little tip. Ideally, use fresh lemons. Those you just bought are much more effective than ones that have been stored in the fridge for a long time. Make sure to use pure honey without added sugar. The local honey you find at neighborhood markets or stores is the best choice. This way, the benefits are multiplied. The first time you apply it, you might feel a slight stinging sensation. It's completely normal, don't worry. However, if you feel a strong burning sensation, rinse off immediately and drink plenty of water. Next time, try using a little less lemon juice. There's something crucial you must remember. After applying lemon to your skin, it's essential to use sunscreen. If you don't, the spots could worsen. If possible, do this treatment at night, and don't forget to apply sunscreen the next day before going out. Don't skip this step. At first, Grandpa Lester Thompson wasn't convinced it would work. He thought something so simple wouldn't have any effect. However, by the 3rd day, he started to notice some improvements, and after 2 months, the spots on his skin had significantly diminished. Now he loves taking pictures with his grandson. He used to avoid cameras, but lately he even takes selfies with him. The second trick is a mung bean, green bean, mask, a recipe passed down from my grandmother. Since ancient times, mung beans have been recognized for their beauty benefits. They contain a substance called saponin, which helps remove skin impurities and brighten the complexion. My mother used this treatment and reached 85 years of age without a single blemish on her skin. All the women in the neighborhood admired her for it. Preparing it is very simple. You only need 3 tablespoons of mung bean powder, 2 tablespoons of milk, and 1 tablespoon of honey. Mix them well until you get a thick paste and apply it to the spots. After 15 minutes, rinse off with water. That's it. It's recommended to use it 2 or 3 times a week. A helpful tip. If you can't find mung bean powder, it's easily available at pharmacies or supermarkets. Even local stores often carry it. It costs around $5 per package, so it's quite affordable. Another option is to buy the beans and grind them yourself in a blender to get fresher powder. If you slightly warm the milk before adding the powder, it will dissolve more effectively. Oh, and the key thing, perseverance. Don't get frustrated if you don't see results in the first few days. Those spots didn't appear overnight, so making them disappear will also take patience. If you apply these remedies 3 times a week regularly, you'll start noticing visible results within a month. You'll be amazed at how your reflection in the mirror changes day by day. Before we continue, remember to like the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel to get the best tips on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's move on. Now I'm going to reveal the 3rd secret, and this one is truly unique. You can get rid of spots using a very common fruit you probably already have at home. It's a home solution that costs nothing extra, so don't overlook it. This 3rd tip, which I wholeheartedly recommend, involves massaging with banana peel. After 5 decades of experience, I can say it's the most effective remedy I've ever tried. Why banana specifically? Because the inner part of the peel, that white side, is full of vitamins A, B, C, and E, which help fade pigmentation spots. It also contains citric acid and salicylic acid, which gently exfoliate dead skin cells. The method is very simple. Take a banana, enjoy its taste, and save the peel. Use the white inside part to gently rub the spots with circular motions for about 10 minutes. Avoid applying too much pressure. Let it sit for another 15 minutes. Then rinse with water. That's it. Do this every night after washing your face. One of my patients, Mr. Bob Johnson, a very skeptical grandfather, doubted it at first. How could a simple banana peel reduce spots? But his daughter convinced him to try. And within just 3 weeks, he noticed a clear improvement in his skin's appearance. Since then, he's made it part of his nightly routine. He eats a banana and uses the peel to massage his skin while watching TV effortlessly. The white part inside the banana peel contains a high amount of vitamins and citric acid, making it a natural ally for fading skin spots. Want to know a secret? Bananas work better when they're not fully ripe. Ideally, the peel should have a few dark spots. If they're too green, the effect is reduced, and if they're overly ripe and brown, they're not as beneficial either. Another tip: use the banana peel only once. Reusing it won't have the same effect. Also, it's important to rinse your skin well after finishing. Otherwise, it might feel sticky. The best part? This trick costs absolutely nothing. You're using something you would normally throw away. Just eating one banana a day can give your skin amazing care. It's a fruit packed with beneficial properties, great for overall wellness, helps regulate digestion, and even contributes to reducing seborrheic keratosis, also known as dry warts. It's like getting 3 benefits in one. Grandma Charlie Wong almost completely reduced the warts on the backs of her hands within just 3 weeks using this method. Her grandchildren complimented her, saying her hands looked beautiful. Imagine how happy that made her feel. She said she no longer feels embarrassed to hold hands with her grandchildren when they go out. Think about it. You can achieve the same. I'm going to share another valuable secret with you. If, after massaging your skin with a banana peel, you apply a small amount of olive oil, the results will be even better. The oil helps the beneficial nutrients from the banana penetrate the skin more effectively. It's a technique we don't even share in my medical practice. I discovered it over the course of my 50-year career. And if you're allergic to bananas, don't worry. You can achieve a similar result using pineapple peel. The inner part of the peel contains enzymes that can be very useful for treating keratosis. However, be cautious, as pineapple has a high level of acidity and could cause irritation on sensitive skin. Start by applying it for only 5 minutes. Now I want to talk to you about the most fundamental aspect of keratosis care: keeping the skin well hydrated and protecting it from sun exposure. This is where many people often make mistakes. If you don't understand this, everything you have learned so far will be of no value. That's why I ask you to stay with me until the end. Now I will talk about something even more crucial than eliminating keratosis: how to prevent it from appearing. This is the most important thing, even if it means fewer people will need medical care, which could be a disadvantage for me. Your well-being comes first, so I will share all the information with you. Throughout my 50 years of treating thousands of patients, I made a surprising discovery. Those who did not develop any keratosis shared a common habit. They regularly consumed certain foods. Today I'm going to share that discovery with you. The first food is spinach. What makes it so beneficial? Its high iron content, along with vitamins A and C, which help prevent excessive melanin production in the skin. It's also rich in chlorophyll, which strengthens skin cells. Eat spinach this way, about 3 times a week, lightly cooked. Avoid overboiling it, as that would destroy its benefits. Simply place it in hot water for 30 seconds. Add a tablespoon of olive oil to enhance the absorption of nutrients. If you also add a pinch of salt and some sesame seeds, you'll boost its flavor. Grandma Carly Ming used to eat a small handful of raw spinach every day, and within just 3 months, her warts were reduced by half. Now, as part of her daily routine, She chews a few leaves every morning. She has even started teaching her neighbors how to grow spinach, as it can be easily cultivated on a balcony. We encourage you to give it a try. The next food is carrots. Carrots are rich in a compound called beta-carotene. Beta-carotene converts into vitamin A in the body, and this vitamin is highly effective at preventing sunspots, also known as age spots. Beta-carotene acts as a natural sunscreen, protecting the skin from ultraviolet UV damage. To enjoy its benefits, eat a small carrot each day. You can pair it with a bit of oil to improve nutrient absorption. Another option is to enjoy it as juice. If you add half an apple, you'll not only improve the taste, but also enhance its effects. A small tip: it's best to eat carrots with their skin on, as just beneath the skin lies the most beneficial part. Wash them thoroughly and eat them with the skin. Nowadays, there are plenty of organic carrots available, so you don't need to worry. My wife has been drinking carrot juice every day for 20 years, and at 75 years old, she practically has no spots on her skin. All her friends, who have many spots, always ask her what her secret is. She usually says she feels a little embarrassed sharing it because it's such a simple thing. The third food is walnuts. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 and vitamin E, elements that help reduce skin inflammation and strengthen the cell membrane. By reducing inflammation, less melanin is produced. Additionally, walnuts are packed with antioxidants, which help slow down skin aging. To consume them, it's recommended to eat 5 to 6 walnuts a day, preferably in the morning, as the body absorbs them better then. If consumed in excess, they can lead to weight gain due to their high caloric content, so moderation is key. You can also crush them and mix them with yogurt. I personally eat 5 walnuts every morning before breakfast, along with a glass of water. Mrs. Lindsay Jack incorporated walnuts into her diet regularly for 6 months, and when she visited the hospital, her sunspots had diminished so much that she no longer needed treatment. At first, she was hesitant because she thought walnuts were expensive, but she later realized that with the price of a single purchase, she could have enough walnuts for 2 months. Seeing it as a smart investment, I still remember the satisfied look on her face. Here's a unique secret. If you incorporate a bit of these 3 foods into your daily diet, you'll prevent melanin production from within the skin. This way, even if you're exposed to the sun, it's unlikely that spots will appear. In fact, some studies reveal that the effect triples if you consume carrots and walnuts together. There are also other foods that help prevent spots, such as tomatoes, blueberries, salmon, and green tea. However, the 3 foods I mentioned are the most powerful. Now, I want to talk to you about the key aspects of treating sunspots: skin hydration and sun protection. This is where many people make mistakes. If you don't understand this, everything you have learned up to now will be worthless. So make sure you stay focused until the end. Even if you know everything I explained before, if you skip this part, it won't have any effect. This is the most crucial secret I have discovered in my 50 years as a dermatologist. Keep your skin well hydrated and protect it from the sun. It's fundamental, and I'll say it 3 times. Hydration, 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 and sun protection, sun protection, sun protection. Why is it so crucial to keep the skin hydrated? Because as the years go by, our skin tends to dry out more. When the skin is dry, it cracks, and through those cracks, substances can penetrate that stimulate melanin production. That's why keeping your skin well hydrated can help prevent the appearance of dark spots. To keep your skin hydrated, follow these steps. After washing your face at night, immediately apply a moisturizing cream. Don't delay. Gently pat your skin dry with a towel and apply the cream while your skin is still slightly damp. This helps lock the water into the skin, keeping it hydrated for longer. There's no need to use expensive products. A few drops of olive oil will do. Place a few drops into your palm and spread them. focusing especially on areas with spots. Apply a mask twice a week. Mix 1 tablespoon of honey with half a tablespoon of olive oil. Spread it over your face and remove it after 20 minutes. This is the advice I've been giving my patients for the past 50 years. Use your moisturizer within the first 3 minutes after showering or washing your face. I call it the golden 3-minute moment. If more than 3 minutes pass, the skin starts to lose moisture. And when that happens, not even the best product will be fully effective. My mother always kept her moisturizer in the bathroom and applied it immediately after washing her face. Thanks to this habit, even after reaching her 90s, she had almost no blemishes on her skin. Another small trick: before going to bed, apply a thick layer of petroleum jelly on the affected areas. Since petroleum jelly has a sticky texture, it may stain your pillow, so it's advisable to place a towel over it. However, the results are impressive. Try it for a week and you'll see the difference. Grandma Jennifer Lee applied banana masks and constant hydration for a month, and the dark spots she had for 20 years almost disappeared. Her family even asked if she had undergone any aesthetic treatments. She still applies a honey and petroleum jelly mask every night, and she says that even at 78 years old, her skin looks like that of a 60-year-old woman. Now, let's talk about sun protection. The main enemy of dark spots is ultraviolet radiation. When UV rays come into contact with the skin produces melanin as a defense, and that's how spots form. Here's what to do to protect yourself from the sun. Using sunscreen is essential. Choose one with an SPF of 30 or higher. The proper amount is about the size of a 501 coin. Apply it even if the sky is overcast, because UV rays can penetrate through clouds. Reapply every 2 or 3 hours. It's especially important to reapply around noon, when UV radiation reaches its peak. Also, consider wearing hats or using umbrellas for extra protection. Many people make this common mistake. They skip sunscreen when the day is cloudy, rainy, or during winter. Huge mistake. UV rays can still pass through clouds and glass, and are present even in cold weather. That's why it's essential to apply sunscreen daily, regardless of the season or weather conditions. Here's a key tip. Don't forget to protect the backs of your hands too. After your face, your hands are one of the first areas to show signs of aging. Some people have a flawless face, but their hands reveal their age with numerous spots. Don't neglect hand care. My mother lived to 93 years old, and no matter if it was cold, raining, or snowing, she never skipped her daily sunscreen routine. Even on the day she passed away, she had hardly any sunspots. While her friends showed heavily spotted skin, hers remained in excellent condition. She always said, "Sunscreen is not medicine, it's like rice," meaning it should be used every single day without exception. Let me tell you about another special method. If you apply vitamin C between your moisturizer and your sunscreen, the effect of fading sun-induced spots is doubled. Vitamin C helps break down melanin. Even the most affordable versions you find at the pharmacy work perfectly. There's no need to spend a fortune. In this case, the order is crucial. First, after washing your face, apply your moisturizer. Second, apply the vitamin C. Third, apply your sunscreen. It's fundamental to stick to this order because changing it will significantly reduce its effectiveness. I remember a patient who had very noticeable sunspots. She had undergone several laser treatments without visible improvements. However, after consistently following this hydration and sun protection system for 3 months, her spots began to visibly fade. To this day, every time she visits the clinic, she expresses her gratitude. Now I'm going to share with you a special technique that not only fights sunspots, but also promotes brain health. It's truly an amazing method. It's not limited to skincare. It holds a key to healthy aging. So stay with me until the end. This final secret goes beyond physical appearance. It also protects mental health. It involves doing hand exercises. Did you know that keeping your hands active helps maintain both your mind and skin in optimal condition? Throughout my 5 decades practicing medicine, I came to a fascinating conclusion. People who frequently use their hands had fewer sunspots and a significantly lower chance of developing dementia. Why? Because fingertips are packed with nerve endings that directly stimulate the brain. In fact, the fingertips have a higher concentration of sensory nerves than any other part of the body, and they connect directly to the brain. One of my patients, Mr. Kong Young-ho, who is 86 years old, dedicated half an hour a day to finger exercises, and remarkably, he maintained a memory as sharp as someone much younger. Medical evaluations showed that his brain had the characteristics of a 60-year-old, which is truly amazing from a clinical standpoint. Even more striking, it almost no sun-induced spots on his skin. These finger movements promote blood circulation, which also has a positive effect on the skin's appearance. Try this simple exercise. Touch your thumb to each of your other fingers, one at a time. Start by touching the index finger, then the middle finger, then the ring finger, and finally the pinky. Do it slowly at first, then gradually increase the speed. Repeat the sequence 10 times. Next, rub your palms together until they feel warm. Then place them gently over your face. This gesture stimulates facial blood circulation and gives the skin a more radiant look. If you apply gentle pressure over areas with spots, the effect is even more noticeable. Finally, interlock your fingers as if closing a lock and make wide circular movements with your wrists 10 times clockwise and then 10 times counterclockwise. This movement also boosts blood flow in the wrists and arms. Spend 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night on these hand routines. You can do them while watching TV before meals or right before bed. The key is to make them a daily habit. Here's an extra tip. After doing the exercises, rinse your hands with warm water and apply a moisturizing cream. This can help reduce sunspots on the backs of your hands, which are often exposed to the sun. If you also apply sunscreen after the exercises, the results will be even better. One of my patients, Mr. Clark Chung, followed this routine for 3 months, and the spot on the backs of his hands diminished significantly. Moreover, his memory improved so much that he no longer forgot when to take his medication. Now, the first thing he does each day is his hand exercises. An additional benefit of these practices is that they also help prevent arthritis in the fingers. As the years go by, it's common for fingers to become stiff and painful, isn't it? If you perform this exercise regularly, you'll notice your joints becoming more flexible and the pain decreasing. My mother also practiced it and was able to keep sewing on her own until she was 90 years old. An interesting fact is that frequent finger movement enhances our mental capacity. This happens because moving the fingers directly stimulates the brain. That's why, if we develop a habit of using our hands often from a young age, it will greatly help prevent memory problems in the future. I start every day doing this hand exercise. Now that I'm 75 years old, my memory is still excellent, and I barely have any spots on my hands. My fellow doctors often ask me what my secret is, and my answer is this hand exercise. Now to conclude, let me summarize the methods I've shared. First, treat hand spots with a lemon and honey mask, a green bean mask, and banana peel. Second, frequently include spinach, carrots, and nuts in your diet. Third, make sure to keep your hands well hydrated and protected from sun exposure. Fourth, promote brain health by doing hand exercises. If you remember and consistently apply these 4 recommendations, you'll notice improvements in your spots in just 1 month. Plus, you'll enjoy a much more active and fulfilling old age. Dear friends, today I wanted to share with you everything I've learned over 50 years. These are insights I don't even mention at the hospital because they're so simple that they don't require medical intervention. However, I decided to share them today because I believe your well-being is what matters most. In the next video, I'll teach you an excellent method to relieve joint pain. It's a very effective technique for treating knee and back pain. I will pass on all the knowledge I've accumulated over 50 years in the medical field, so you can enjoy a full and healthy old age. Thank you very much. Hello, I'm Dr. Johnson, a specialist in rehabilitation medicine. There's a phrase I often hear in my office: "Doctor, I've already had injections, I've taken medications, but why don't I feel any improvement?" I guess it must be because of my age. When I hear that, I usually reply, there's still something you haven't tried. Whether it's knee pain or shoulder pain, many times, by starting treatment at the sole of the foot, we achieve surprising results. In this video, I'll share real-life experiences I've gathered over 3 decades of treating patients, including the story of an elderly man who was able to stop using his cane in just 2 weeks. If you stick around until the end, I guarantee your perspective on pain will completely change. Do you struggle to get out of bed in the morning because of back pain that makes it hard to stand up straight? Do your knees hurt so much when climbing stairs that every step feels like a real challenge? Do you have trouble sleeping because of shoulder pain? Do your finger joints hurt so much that you can't even hold your grandchild's hand? At the hospital, they just tell you it's due to aging. You take medicine and feel no improvement. You get injections, and the relief is only temporary. You begin to wonder if you'll have to live with pain forever. That frustration, that sigh, that feeling of giving up, I understand it completely. I've heard many similar stories from patients in my practice. But today, your perspective is going to change completely. The most amazing thing I've discovered in my 30-year medical career is that sometimes the answer to chronic pain is so simple that people overlook it. One of the most effective techniques is what we call the foot patch method. Yes, at first, it might sound strange. Why apply a patch to the sole of the foot if what hurts is my knee? And what if the pain is in my back? I had my doubts in the beginning too, but after trying on thousands of patients, it's now the first approach I recommend to those suffering from chronic pain. This method isn't just another health tip. It's a remarkable discovery that has already transformed the lives of thousands of elderly people. And the best part? You can start right away from the comfort of your home, and it only takes 5 minutes. An 83-year-old man once told me, "Doctor, I suffered from back pain for 2 decades, but after applying the patch to the sole of my foot, I stopped using my cane in just 2 weeks. My wife keeps saying I look younger. How is such a dramatic change possible?" The reason modern medicine often fails to relieve chronic pain is that most treatments only target the symptoms, not the root cause of the problem. Painkillers offer only temporary relief. Injections merely reduce inflammation partially, but they don't restore the body's balance. The foot patch method is different. It taps into the body's essential network of connections. Our body is interconnected, with each part influencing the others. The sole of the foot plays a key role as a control center of the entire body. Today, I'm going to explain this incredible method in detail. If you watch this video until the end, you too can break free from pain and start a new chapter in life. The best part is, this method has almost no side effects. It's very affordable, and anyone can do it with ease. Now, let's begin. The fascinating story of the foot patch. The first story is about Jack Gray, an 85-year-old man living in Yongin, Gyeonggi-do. For 25 years, he suffered from arthritis in his knees. The first time he came to my office, he was in a wheelchair. Both knees were severely swollen, and not only could he not walk, he couldn't even stand without feeling pain. He had undergone 3 surgeries and received over 20 injections, but the results were always unsatisfactory. He was about to give up. That's when I explained the foot patch method to him. Naturally, he had doubts at first. Why apply a patch to my foot if the pain is in my knee? I told him, just try it for 3 weeks. And exactly 3 weeks later, when he returned to the hospital, he looked much better. He walked in by himself, no longer in a wheelchair. "Doctor, it's a miracle," he said. At first, I didn't feel any change, but starting around the 10th day, the knee pain began to lessen significantly, and after 3 weeks, it was almost completely gone. Now he takes 30-minute walks every morning and even tends to a small garden. "My grandchildren couldn't believe it," he said. "They told me I look younger." This grandfather's transformation wasn't just about pain relief. It was about reclaiming a daily routine he had lost for 25 years. Tending the garden, playing with the grandkids, going on walks with his wife. All of these everyday activities felt like a true miracle to him. One example is that of Mrs. Kate Black, a 72-year-old resident of Seoul. She suffered from a herniated disc in her back for over 10 years. On one occasion, she remarked, "I entered the hospital leaning on a cane, but after using a patch on the sole of my foot for just 3 days, I walked out without it. Even the doctor was amazed." At first, she was skeptical that a patch on the sole of her foot could relieve back pain, but in just 3 days, she noticed a significant change. Mrs. Park's case is one that showed particularly fast improvement. Before we continue, don't forget to like the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe to the channel to receive the best tips on how to attract abundance and prosperity into your life. Let's keep going. Of course, not everyone sees such immediate results. However, more than 80% of patients notice clear improvements within 2 weeks. Mr. Paul Smith, a 79-year-old resident of Daegu, suffered from shoulder pain for a long time, particularly from what is known as frozen shoulder, which even prevented him from raising his arm. He experienced discomfort while washing his hair or getting dressed and couldn't lift his grandchildren when they asked. However, after he started using the patch on the sole of his foot, in just 2 weeks, he was able to move his arm freely. Now, he even plays badminton with his grandchildren. Mrs. Natalie Payne from Gwangju suffered from rheumatoid arthritis for more than 40 years. Her fingers were twisted and painful, making it difficult for her to do things like sewing or using chopsticks. Doctors at the hospital told her it was a condition she would have to live with permanently. Can you imagine how disheartening it must be to hear the phrase "for the rest of your life"? After applying the patches to the soles of her feet for 3 weeks, something amazing happened. Now Mrs. Natalie makes clothes for her grandchildren with her own hands. She began using the patches due to knee pain, but also noticed a remarkable improvement in the discomfort in her hand joints, which shows the widespread effect of the foot patch. These cases are not mere coincidences. Thousands of people across the country are experiencing similar situations. Among the patients I have personally treated in the clinic, nearly 78% reported significant pain relief thanks to therapy using patches applied to the soles of the feet. So, what do these people have in common? First, they didn't find significant relief with traditional treatments. Second, although they were initially skeptical about using the patch, they decided to give it a try. Third, most people noticed clear improvements in just 1 week. Fourth, the benefits continue to appear over a period longer than 3 months. You too could notice these results, just like those who have already tried it. The key is to take the first step now. So why is the patch applied specifically to the sole of the foot? How can a patch placed in that area relieve discomfort in the back, knees, or shoulders? It's time to reveal that amazing secret. Everything in the human body is interconnected. In particular, the sole of the foot can be seen as a microcosm that interacts with the entire body. This is not just a metaphor. It's a scientifically supported fact. There are more than 7,000 nerve endings in the sole of the foot that are directly linked to different organs and body parts. It functions as a sort of control center. This is the main reason why patches applied to the sole of the foot can have effects on distant areas like the knees or back. Traditional Eastern medicine has used this knowledge for millennia through the concept of reflex points on the sole of the foot. Stimulating specific points in this area helps improve the functioning of related parts of the body. For example, the center of the sole is connected to the spine. The inner edge is associated with the side of the spine, the side with the arms and legs, and the area under the toes connects to the shoulders. One particularly important point is yangqin, located just above the center of the sole. In traditional Chinese medicine, this point is identified as our one within the kidney meridian and is considered essential for controlling pain and inflammation throughout the body. Applying a patch in this area enhances the flow of qi or vital energy and helps reduce inflammatory processes, especially in muscles and joints. From the perspective of Western medicine, the sole of the foot also has particular importance, as it presents three fundamental characteristics. It represents both the final destination and the starting point of blood flow, since it is the furthest area from the heart. It's where blood tends to stagnate before beginning its return. Stimulating circulation in this area promotes better blood flow throughout the entire body. 2. Due to the effect of gravity, toxins tend to accumulate in the feet. Activating this region facilitates their elimination, which helps to reduce overall inflammation in the body. 3. The skin on the sole of the foot is thin, making it easier for patches ingredients to be absorbed. This is especially true in the yangqin area, which has minimal subcutaneous fat and a high concentration of blood vessels, allowing the patch's components to be rapidly absorbed and distributed throughout the body via the circulatory system. Active compounds such as capsaicin, salicylic acid, and menthol easily penetrate the thin skin, acting directly on areas affected by pain or inflammation. A study conducted in 2022 by researchers at the University of Tokyo showed that stimulating the sole of the foot can relieve tension in other parts of the body thanks to the interconnected facial network. This network is made up of tissue that envelopes the entire body, allowing pressure applied to one point to produce effects in distant regions. Additionally, such stimulation promotes the production of endorphins, natural substances that help relieve pain. In fact, further research revealed that endorphin levels in the blood increased by up to 40% just 15 minutes after stimulating the sole of the foot. This is precisely why many people experience a general sense of well-being after applying these patches to their feet. Another important reason to apply the patch to the sole is its ability to improve blood circulation. One of its ingredients, capsaicin, helps to dilate blood vessels and stimulate blood flow. As a result, the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to tissues increases, aiding in their repair and regeneration. This process is particularly beneficial for joints, where blood flow is often limited. Improving circulation in these areas can be key to relieving pain. Moreover, the salicylic acid in the patch has powerful anti-inflammatory properties, similar to those of aspirin, helping to reduce inflammation throughout the body. Menthol, meanwhile, provides an instant cooling sensation that reduces the perception of pain and offers quick relief. From both scientific and traditional medicine perspectives, the effectiveness of applying a patch to the sole of the foot is well documented. However, there is a key factor. All these benefits depend on correct placement and application. It doesn't have the same effect if applied anywhere on the body. Choosing the right spot, the appropriate timing, and the correct type of patch is essential. So what steps should we follow? I'm going to explain the specific procedure. You can have a pen and paper handy to take notes, or simply save this video. What matters most is that you put it into practice tonight. First, I will clearly indicate the precise points where you should apply the patch depending on the area of pain. For knee pain, place the patch in the center of the sole of the foot, slightly toward the heel. This point is known as gallio. Keep in mind, if only one knee hurts, it's still important to apply the patch to both feet for better results. Mrs. Natalie Manga mentioned that at first, She only applied it to the foot on the affected side, but when she used it on both feet, the results were much more effective. To relieve lower back pain, place the patch in the center of the sole. When you flex your toes, you'll feel a depression in the area. That point is known as heel. If you suffer from a herniated disc or lumbar pain, focus on this point. You can also place another patch in the center of the heel to enhance its effectiveness. Mr. Lee Tae-jun shared that his back pain, which had troubled him for 20 years, improved significantly in just 2 weeks, and he was able to walk without using a cane. To relieve shoulder pain, place the patch just below the big toe and also below the little toe. If you have frozen shoulder or adhesive capsulitis, it is recommended to use a slightly larger patch on the foot corresponding to the affected shoulder side for better results. Mr. Choi Byung-ho was so satisfied that he said that after 3 weeks, he could already play badminton with his grandson, something that had previously been impossible, as he couldn't even lift his arm to touch his head. To relieve neck pain, apply the patch about 2 centimeters inward from the space between the second and third toes toward the sole. This is particularly beneficial for those who suffer from neck stiffness due to excessive cell phone use. Before applying the patch, there's one preliminary step. Thoroughly clean your feet and make sure they are completely dry. Soaking them in warm water for about 5 minutes will stimulate blood circulation and enhance the patch's effectiveness. If there is any moisture left, the patch won't stick properly or work as efficiently. So dry your feet well with a towel is essential. What type of patch should you use? Most patches sold at pharmacies are effective. It's recommended to choose products that contain the following ingredients. Capsaicin promotes blood circulation and relieves pain. Salicylic acid has a notable anti-inflammatory effect. Menthol provides a refreshing sensation and offers immediate pain relief. Natural plant extracts reduce side effects and prolong the duration of the benefits. Just tell the pharmacist that you need a patch to relieve muscle or joint pain, and they will suggest the most appropriate one. I'm going to recommend a product. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. What really matters are the ingredients and the area of application. When and for how long should it be used? This is crucial. Remember that the best time to apply it is before going to bed, at night. The body enters a recovery phase, which helps the patch's ingredients absorb and work more effectively. The most recommended time to apply it is between 9 and 10 p.m. It should be left on for 8 to 12 hours. Apply it before sleeping and remove it upon waking. Avoid leaving it on for more than 24 hours, as it could cause skin irritation. Regarding how often to apply it, during the first week, it's ideal to use it every night. After that, you can apply it every other night. Most people start noticing changes between the 3rd and 4th day, but for persistent pain, it must be used consistently for at least 3 weeks to achieve full results. Grandma Huang Myung shared the following. At first, I didn't notice much difference in the first 3 days. I almost gave up, but starting on the 5th day, I really saw the change. Now, after 3 months of use, the pain has almost disappeared. Some people should take extra precautions. If you have diabetes, be sure to check your feet thoroughly every day. If you experience redness or itching, stop using it immediately and consult your doctor. If you have sensitive skin, first test a small area and never apply it on open wounds. Also, I'd like to share a few simple habits that can enhance the effect of the patch. From this moment on, it's important to pay attention. These tips can double its effectiveness. First, make sure to drink enough water. Drinking more than 8 glasses a day helps distribute the patch's components better throughout the body and assists in eliminating toxins. Many older adults don't drink enough water, which significantly reduces the patch's effect. Drink a glass of water with every meal, plus 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 more in the evening. Second, do ankle rotations when you wake up. While sitting on the bed, rotate each ankle 10 times to the right and then to the left. It's an exercise that takes less than a minute, but improves circulation in the feet and enhances the patch's effect. Third, take gentle walks. Move as much as your pain allows. It's the best medicine. Start with 5 minutes and gradually increase, using the patch along with walking speeds up the healing process significantly. So, do you know what your next step is? Let me summarize it for you. Wash your feet and dry them thoroughly. Place the patch on the area of discomfort. Leave it on for 8 to 12 hours and remove it upon waking. During the first week, use it daily. Afterward, apply it every other day. Stay well hydrated and do light exercises. By following these 5 simple steps, you will notice a significant improvement and can finally leave the pain behind. Would you like to hear real testimonials from people who achieve deep, lasting change thanks to this? In the next section, I'll show you powerful stories from individuals whose souls underwent a complete transformation. Truly inspiring experiences await you. From this point forward, I'll begin sharing authentic stories from patients I had direct contact with in the treatment room. Listen to how their lives change, and imagine the future you could also have. This transformation is within your reach. Mr. Lee Sangchol, a resident of Busan, worked as a bus driver for 35 years before retiring. During that time, he suffered from severe pain caused by herniated discs in his spine. He couldn't sit for more than 10 minutes. An MRI revealed he had, after regularly applying a patch to the sole of his foot for 2 months, he noticed an incredible improvement. Now, he can spend long periods sitting with his fishing rod, and his favorite activity is escaping to the sea every weekend with his grandchildren. Despite doctors' recommendations to avoid exertion, he has even resumed gentle hikes on nature trails. Just like with this man, the foot patch not only relieves discomfort, it can radically change your quality of life. You too will soon experience this change. Mr. Jong Byung-ho, 81 years old and originally from Jeonju, dedicated his entire life to farming. Due to spinal stenosis, walking had become nearly impossible for him. After walking just about 100 meters, his legs would go numb and he would need to rest. When his son suggested buying him a wheelchair, he couldn't imagine how humiliating that felt. He thought, "Is this what awaits me after working all my life in the fields?" But after consistently using foot sole patches for just 3 weeks, Mr. Jong noticed an astonishing transformation. Now he takes a half-hour walk each day, enjoys reading, and has resumed tending to his garden. Who would have thought such a simple patch could bring such a remarkable change, he says with a laugh. All my friends are using them too. They even sold out at the store in our neighborhood. I conducted a study with 100 participants, and the results were remarkable. 78% reported experiencing less pain. 65% said their sleep improved significantly. 82% mentioned an increase in their daily activity levels. And 91% said they would recommend it to others without hesitation. One of the most moving experiences took place in a senior care home in Gwangju. 5 residents who relied on wheelchairs had patches applied to the soles of their feet over a 6-week period. As a result, 3 of them were able to walk using a walker, and 1 was even able to move around on her own, though only for a short distance. The center's director commented, "They didn't just experience physical improvement. Their expressions changed completely. They went from a mindset of all over to a renewed hope of there's still a chance." The real benefit of these patches lies not just in pain relief, but in the opportunity to reclaim a life that once seemed lost. Activities that have been set aside, friendships forgotten, places they could no longer visit, all of that is now accessible again. You, too, can experience this transformation, just like the people I mentioned. That's why I sincerely encourage you to try it tonight, right before bed. Just imagine the changes you might see in only 3 weeks. It could completely change your life. To conclude, I'd like to share some habits that can maximize the benefits of foot sole patches, along with answers to common questions. If you stay until the end, I'll even reveal some secret tips to boost their effectiveness, perhaps even double or triple it. With this information, you may be able to reduce the need for frequent hospital visits. While the patches work wonderfully on their own, combining them with certain habits can make the effects even more powerful. These tips come from my experience treating thousands of patients over more than 3 decades. First of all, staying well hydrated is essential. I recommend drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. This is especially important for older adults who often don't feel as thirsty and therefore don't drink enough water. Water plays a key role in helping the patch's components circulate effectively through the body. Without enough water intake, the patch's effectiveness may be significantly reduced. Mrs. Park Sunja, 81 years old and a resident of Jeonju in Jeonnam Province, shared, "Ever since I started drinking more water, just as you advised, I've noticed a huge improvement in the patch's effects. Now, before going to bed, I make a habit to apply the patch and drink a glass of water. Secondly, opting for an anti-inflammatory diet is very beneficial, including foods like ginger and turmeric, known for their anti-inflammatory effects, as well as omega-3 rich fish like mackerel, horse mackerel, or sardines, which are excellent sources of antioxidants. It is also recommended to consume berries, leafy green vegetables, nuts, and olive oil. It is also suggested to reduce the intake of certain foods, such as refined sugar, flour, processed foods, cured meats, and those containing trans fats." Mr. Choi Dong-chul, a 79-year-old man from Seoul, experienced a remarkable transformation after adopting an anti-inflammatory diet along with using foot patches. "After modifying my diet and starting to use the patches, I noticed that the results have multiplied. Now, I almost don't need to resort to painkillers." Third, stretching in the morning really works. Just 5 minutes of basic stretching before starting the day helps maintain the benefits of the patch. The following exercises are particularly recommended. Ankle rotations. Slowly rotate each ankle 10 times clockwise and another 10 times counterclockwise. Toe stretches. Flex and extend the toes 10 times. Foot massage. Gently roll a tennis or golf ball under the sole of your foot. Mrs. Lee Jong-suk, 72, a resident of Ulsan, commented, "By dedicating just 5 minutes each morning to rotating my ankles and massaging the soles of my feet, I noticed that the patch's effect lasts considerably longer. I almost no longer experience knee pain." Fourth, walking correctly also plays a crucial role. Walking gently for 20 to 30 minutes daily promotes circulation and tones the muscles. If combined with the use of patches, the effect is even more noticeable. Start with just 5 minutes a day and gradually increase. Mr. Natalie Young-ho, 76, a resident of Busan, shares, "At first, I only took a few steps to the door of my house, but now I walk for 30 minutes on the beach every day. Back discomfort has almost disappeared. The combination of using the patch and walking really enhances the effect." Fifth, it is crucial to maintain proper posture when sleeping. If you experience back or knee pain, sleeping on your side with a pillow between your legs can help. If you have neck discomfort, use a pillow that provides good support for the cervical vertebrae. Now we will answer some frequently asked questions. Can the patches cause side effects? In general, they are safe. However, people with sensitive skin may experience itching or redness. If this happens, remove the patch immediately and try applying it to a smaller area after 2 days. If discomfort persists, stop using it, especially if you have diabetes. Check your feet daily. If you notice any changes in your skin, stop using them and consult your doctor. Are there alternatives to the patch? Yes, massaging the sole of the foot with essential oils like peppermint eucalyptus or lavender can also be very helpful. It is especially beneficial if done after soaking the feet in warm water before bedtime. However, the effect may not be as intense as using the patch. When do the effects start to be felt? Generally, people notice changes within 3 days to a week. However, if the pain persists, full recovery can take anywhere from 3 weeks to 3 months, depending on the individual. The key is consistency. What is the best patch? Patches containing capsaicin, salicylate, or menthol are quite effective. At the pharmacy, you can ask for a patch to relieve joint or muscle pain. It doesn't need to be an expensive option. Can I use patches along with my medications? Yes, it is possible to use them alongside your current medications. Many patients have been able to reduce the amount of medication once they started using the patches. But do not stop taking your medication without first consulting your doctor. Finally, a few sincere words for those who have made it this far. Pain is not limited to physical discomfort. It also affects our ability to enjoy, to feel happiness, and to find meaning in life. Don't tell yourself, "I'm too old, I just have to resign myself." If you put into practice what you've learned today, not only will you be able to relieve the pain, but you'll also rediscover the genuine passion for being alive. One of my patients expressed, "When the pain disappeared, my will to live returned." From the bottom of my heart, I hope you too experience a day like that. Start today. Before going to bed tonight, place the patch on the sole of your foot. And don't forget to share this valuable information with your loved ones who suffer from pain. You could change someone's life. I tried it too, and it gave me good results. If you have questions like which patch is the most recommended, or want to share your experience, I would be happy to hear them. I will respond to each one with pleasure. Thank you.